85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology and a massive 90-minute battery time, which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0, you'll get the Crop Reviver with witch hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping.
Yes. Welcome back to another Avengers show. Let me just unmute everyone next time. Yeah, LB can't be here, innit? So I'm making my Avengers debut with these dollies in front of me. We are waiting on Asan, who will join us as soon as he can. But big up to all the people that are here. As you know, we'll go through it like Hugh and that. Hugh's always here now anyway, innit? We can't get rid of him. How you doing?
I just say, I was looking at Instagram there. See Daps, yeah?
Yeah.
You see the Instagram story you just put up?
No, wait, what? I feel like this is like...
Hold on, what have I done? Have I done something wrong?
Look at the Geordie Porty account he tagged.
Oh, allow it.
Oh, wait.
It's not
Oh, well, whoever it is, share it, please.
Whoever is that.
Whoever it is. Brilliant. Who have I put up?
Yeah. Oh, let me have a look at this now. What is this? Sorry, people. Let me just... Geordie Body is my dad. His tag Geordie Body is my dad. That's a legit Donny who watches these videos.
Well, we better share it.
It's a Geordie Porty fan account, Daps.
Yeah, it's basically.
He's the only one of all of us that's got one of them as well. That's where you know he's big time. He's got multiples as well.
Yeah, man loves it. Big up Wolf. How you doing, mate? You good?
Hey, great. How are you, lads?
I'm good, innit?
Good.
Chilling. I feel like it's been ages since I've seen you, Wolf. When are you next over here?
I'm sending Joey over in November for Liverpool. So
you're sending Joey over? That sounds like
yeah.
a train wreck.
Are you unique to this, or is it like you're telling him he's going?
No. He asked me for tickets, so I know he's going.
That's fair. That's fair. Big up Daps, how you doing, bro? How was your birthday weekend, mate?
Yeah, it's good. It was good. And this week's been good watching you three. Watching you three yesterday, you, Huey, and LB. And then watching you go viral.
Yeah, 1 point. What's it on now, Hugh? You seeing?
It's 1.2 or 3.
It's like 1.2 or 3 million views.
Someone's asking me though, who got you the footage?
Oh, that's a live stream. So for some reason, LB knows someone who does a live stream of watching planes. So he goes to Manchester Airport and watches planes. So LB was like, "Oh yeah, I've got this Donny, and we can actually see the plane landing." And then Simon Lowe, is that what he's called?
Simon Lowe. He had no intentions of following this plane, so we sent over our viewers to be like, "This plane's coming from Leipzig. Gvardiol is on it. This is like City Extra in the building there." So he was like, "All right, I'll track this plane for you," and he followed it the whole way down. It was like he's just some other YouTuber.
I watched Carefree Lewis do it for Enzo. He did it for Enzo with Chelsea. So listen, we've got to get involved in it because we're a little club. So we have to be bigger. We have to do these type of things. So salute to you, man. And listen, it's not like he was like if he ended up going to a different club, it would have been egg on the face. Big time,
it would have been horrendous.
I mean, instead, listen, FG is signing for us, so everything's good.
Yeah. It's a fair FG backed it as well. FG backed it. And big up Jason. Yes, JCC, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, buddy.
You was away at the Champions League final, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I was away for a couple of weeks.
Was you on your honeymoon?
Yes, I went to Iceland. I managed to watch it. I was in a place called Husavik. I was watching it in like a little bar restaurant on my phone because I don't seem to be streaming anything around there. So I had to kind of have a little bit more of a subdued once Rodri scored. I had to kind of leave the restaurant and watch the rest of it out there. The fucking tense, very tense watch. But yeah, it was class. It was a great trip. Loved it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I seen it instantly. It looked mad. The pictures that you put up were crazy.
It's insane. It's a beautiful country to go and visit. I had my reservations about visiting because it's not normally my kind of holiday. But I've never been to a place like it. Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, mad. Right then. Well, first things first, this stream is sponsored by Manscaped. Go get yourself Manscaped products. Use code X20 for 20% off and free international shipping. They've got a beard trimmer now and everything. You know what I mean? So for the boys out there with beards, you can sort that. I mean, look at Hugh.
I was going to say Huey needs a hair trimmer by the looks of things.
I mean, to be fair, Hugh, if you use that beard trimmer, because your beard seems very trim nowadays. The past
it's kind of embarrassing. I'm not sure it's a good look for Manscaped, but I did use the beard hedger, and I used the wrong blade. So now I have no beard.
Yo!
Well, that happens to me. Listen, I do that regular where when I can't get an appointment with my barber, I think I'll do it. And then I'm like, why have I done it? But George, you can talk with your beard.
Now I can. Yeah, now I can talk.
I didn't recognize you when you first started popping up DJing and that. I'm like, who's this guy? Then it's like,
who's this done it? Who's this done it? Yeah. Jeremy McHugh in the chat there says got to have a different trimmer from beard than balls, which is fair. I mean, one for each. Not each ball. But yeah, use code X 20% off and free international shipping. So today's been a big day in transfer news regarding Gvardiol. A bigger day than obviously our flight tracking plans yesterday, where we tracked a random German billionaire going nowhere.
Oh, is it confirmed now?
Well, we don't know who it was. We still don't know who it was.
I'm saying it's Tiki. That's where I'm leaving it at. I'm saying.
Yeah, well, we said that we did kind of speculate it could have been cheeky, like coming back from there to sort things out. Because once after the flight tracker saga, we started getting news that shit had been progressed. So like, it could have been. I'm not really asked. End of the day, not really asked. But
it made great content and it did good numbers. So
yeah,
it worked.
It worked. So I guess I'll start with you, Mo. Are you gassed about Gvardiol?
Yeah, big time gas, man. Yeah, I think the biggest threat to City this next season is not Arsenal or Chelsea, Liverpool, United. It's complacency. So within our own club, you know. So I think getting in new players is key. The age profile now at the back looks a lot better. I assume Laporte will leave for another club shortly. But yeah, it really gives us a younger option at the back there who's absolutely world class. So that will help, I think, fight against complacency, and it'll give the rest of what is probably already the best centre back, you know, depth in Europe, a nice kick up the arse.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like losing Laporte, obviously it's going to be interesting to see what rumours come in for Laporte now. But imagine City be trying to shift him. Apparently, we're looking like 30 to 40 million pounds.
I had 25. I had as low as 25.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me though, because we've had streams about this before and saying like, is there just some general like worldwide football disrespect going on to Laporte? Because he's an incredible centre back, and £40 million that's cheap, I think, for Laporte. I think that's a steal. 35 to 40 million pounds is a steal for him, and people aren't even paying that.
The fact that Tottenham went in for him and he jumped on a plane and dipped out the country tells you. And then the funniest one is when I heard Crystal Palace are interested. I'm thinking Roy Hodgson, who everyone knows I like Roy Hodgson, yeah, but Roy Hodgson football does not involve anything where Laporte needs to be near at all whatsoever. I think it's a bit mad. Laporte. You got to remember when Laporte landed in the Premier League, it was like him and Van Dijk were instantly. Him and Van Dijk were levels above everyone else in the Premier League, and I still think he's one of our best centre backs. It's just the partnership with him and Diaz doesn't work as well as Diaz with other people. That is all it is. Like we got to remember a year ago, he won us a league. Like
he was a warrior playing for injuries and that. And I think one of Laporte's biggest problems is that he's never really been able to settle a proper relationship with another side of the centre back. So whereas we've seen like with Ruben Diaz and John Stones, they got that done pretty rapid. I I've not actually yet dapped in it, but are you gas for Gvardiol? Do you think?
Yeah, do you know? We all knew he was coming. That's the thing.
Yeah.
For me, the minute Kovacic walked through the door, we knew it was happening. Like I always watch the languages that are spoken in the squad, where people are from. The fact it used to be Spain and Argentina, now it's Brazil and Portugal. And I know we wanted Kovacic for what he can do, but I thought there's no coincidence that they're both Croatian as well. So it helps both settle in. And the way I described it is Leipzig were just acting like, not like every single female, but they were acting like certain females. They were just throwing their toys out the pram. And in hindsight, when you look at what the deal is probably going to get done for, that confirms it, because it's not like the price has really gone up that much or anything. The big thing for me is, if you look at the signings that our rivals, Arsenal, because I think they're the ones that are going to compete with us next season, are going to make. Talent-wise, absolutely. They've signed some great players, but we already have winners. We already have people with mentality, right? They don't. And I felt that's what they need. In Gvardiol, I just think we've gone and bought another mentality. This guy is joining us because he wants to win everything. And I just think with him and Diaz at the back, that's like, at least another 6, 7, 8 years of probably the two best centre-backs in the league over that period. So it's funny. Even if we don't get anyone else, I just look at this and think, keep Bernardo Silva and close the window, and I'm good. I know everyone wants a winger, but it shows the levels of City. We just go out and grab someone like Gvardiol.
So, we are blessed with Gvardiol there. Like, it is crazy that we're going in for that kind of stuff. Big up Asan, by the way. Asan just joined. Big up Asan. How you doing, bro?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. If I want. In fact, you're here now, innit? What are you saying about Gvardiol, Asan?
Incredible signing, I think. I think because we've got so many defenders, the last kind of month or so, I've been a bit not bothered about it. But now that it's happened, and you kind of begin to look at what he's good at and what he brings to the team and his age and his profile, he's going to be incredible. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be, he'll be a City player. Like little things like the interviews where you see how well he speaks English and you see how well he speaks in general. He's a leader. He's a future captain. I've got absolutely no doubt about it. And to snag a boy like that at 21, 22 years old, it's really a top signing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
on the interview thing, Eitan. I was watching an interview or a clip of an interview. You might have seen it, with Gvardiol, and he was asked about the infamous heading of the beer.
Oh
cup,
yeah,
you know that one, yeah. And they were the interviewer was like, "What's that about?" And he was like, "We scored a goal. We're celebrating. Everyone's going crazy." And I see this beer cup come into the pitch from the stands, and I wanted to protect my teammates. I was like, "Yo, that's elite.
Go on, lad.
That's elite."
Go on.
Lad. Imagine him and Diaz. The high fives are going to be going round every time there's a tackle.
We shouldn't sleep on John Stones either. Do you know what I mean? Like Stones has been. Where do I need to be over here? Yeah, sorry. Stones has been incredible for us in the last sort of 4 or 5 months, and really for a lot of his City career. And I think that he is a little bit underrated. But having Diaz, Stones, and Gvardiol as the kind of core of your centre backs for the next 5 years is something else.
And Ake, I'll be real. And Ake, for me, Ake is.
Yeah,
I think it's just. I think when you said Mulv earlier about the top centre backs in Europe, I thought you were going to say Premier League. When you said Europe, I was like, whoa. Then I thought about it and thought, oh, absolutely. There's not like it's mad. It's really mad.
What do you call it, Hugh? The Great Wall of Manchester.
Yeah, I see people picking up on that now, and don't be claiming that as your own. I'm getting that copyrighted. I've had that since day one.
Taking it. What are you saying, Jason? Are you buzzing?
Brilliant signing, absolutely fantastic signing. It seems to have just been a saga that's dragged on and on and on. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? As everyone was saying before, it's just you knew it was going to happen. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen. Some games have been going on back and forward with negotiations. It's been covering it on my channel anyway. Every single day it's been a little bit tiring, so I'm ecstatic that the transfer is going to get sorted and I'll be able to speak about some different things from now. But I'm really happy that he's coming to Manchester City. He is 22 years old. He's going to be here for the next 5-10 years. We're investing a lot of money into him, but I think City will be able to get all that money back and more from what we're going to get with a high quality player who, to me, when City are bringing players in, I'm always looking towards players who are going to help improve the team. And considering we're a team that's won the treble and just won the Champions League, how do you go from improving that 11? There aren't that many players out there. And to me, Gvardiol is one of them players. Might not be there right now. Give him a season or two under Pep, and I reckon you're looking at one of the, or if not the best left-sided centre-back in the world. So I think that's a really smart bit of business that City have managed to get themselves sorted there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him in a sky blue shirt.
Do you know one thing I will say, just quickly, on the business side of it, is that it was frustrating that it's taken longer than we thought. But if you think where we started, right, there was this whole City going to pay 100 million for a centre-back, yeah? And that was the narrative that I know every single media outlet, every single rival fan wanted to run with that, right? By doing what we've done, we've now actually just bagged Gvardiol for 77 million with no add-ons, right? And now all of a sudden the narrative is City are getting an absolute deal for him. So it just shows, and I've had a few other content creators message me saying, how the hell are you doing business like this? And I said, because we worked hard to do it. We are willing to walk away. The thing we have on our side now is that clubs know that their players really want to sign. Like Gvardiol would have kicked off. If this did not go through, he would have kicked off. And I think our club know it now. And now all of a sudden, no one can tell us, oh, you're paying over the odds. 77 million when them lot paid, what, 80 for Maguire? Like,
yeah,
it's a good, we've ended up.
That's why, don't you think that's why City have, I mean, for me, as soon as I saw the stories today, I was like, oh, okay, now I understand why City spent 3 months haggling over the fee. Yeah. They didn't want to pay over what United paid for Maguire.
Did you tweet this today, Sandra? Was it you that I seen on Twitter say it, or was it in one of our group chats?
No, somebody will have said it, but it felt really obvious to me. Like as soon as I didn't really like for the whole summer. I've been a bit like, why are you like being so difficult over what amounts to like 10 or 15 million quid in €100 million transfer? And actually, I realize now it's all about optics. They just didn't. They wanted to make sure that at the end they could say he costs less than Harry Maguire, which is what in the end that's what's happened. And maybe the thing that we a little bit don't realize is that City have the liquidity to do a deal like that, because in the end, when you do a deal for a player for 80, 90, 100 million euros, right, it's always broken up over 3, 4, 5 years, length of the contract, whatever it is. And that's what gives the selling club the power to negotiate, because they go, well, no, we want this much because you're going to pay over this amount of time. And so now I'm like, oh, so City probably went in with like 80 million euro over 5 years. And in the end, Red Bull have landed at 76 million euros or 77 million pounds, whatever it is, in one go.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they've said that, but I think that that's what it's going to end up. I think City are going to end up paying that fee in one go or in two.
We spoke.
Sorry. I was just going to say that we spoke a bit about this morning. I think it was massively significant to City to not break the record. Yeah. You know, with all the heat around us right now and, you know, financial fair play and 115, I think had we even gone 1 cent over the record and broken that record, you can see the media already. City go out there and break the record again. They've done this with Grealish. They're doing it with Gvardiol. We know there's extra payments for Haaland and agent fees. You can see that the media just being atrocious. So to put off where you left they stand, it makes more sense now that it took that bit longer, because City were clearly playing hardball to make sure they came out of this deal looking as best as they possibly could.
Yeah. Totally. I think it's deeper than that. I don't think it's about, in the end, right? City obviously feel that when it comes to the Premier League charges, they've got no case to answer and the lawyers will deal with it, and they're not really that bothered. I think it's an optics thing that has been there for many years. You remember Khaldoon's interview 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when he said, we don't have the most expensive goalkeeper. We don't have the most expensive centre-back. We don't have the most expensive centre midfield player. We don't have the most expensive striker. What are they talking about, right? And I think that that's a point of pride for them. They don't want to end up in a situation where every player in every position, the world is looking at and going, well, you paid a record fee for him, and you paid a record fee for him, and you paid a record fee for him. Yeah. So it works. This has worked I mean,
it's also a business.
perfect.
It's a business model as well that they've invested. And I've always said this. Like I always use the example when people talk about how we invested at first. That if you invest in any business, if I went and bought a cafe that was opposite McDonald's, Burger King, Starbucks, Subway, and this cafe is owned by John and it's got no processes, no nothing, no stock, I have to invest, for a few years to get up to speed with everyone else. We've done that. And now it's like we're there, we've done. And it's funny. That's what Arsenal are doing now. Arsenal are investing heavily to get back in line with us. But it's fine, apparently, because it's not City. But I just think it's a good deal. And we've got him for a long time. You can see, I got asked the other day about Bernardo Silva. And I said, you know what? I actually honestly think now he's going to see out his last 2 years and go on a free. And someone said, are you right with him going on a free? I said, listen, I was all right with Vinny going on a free, Aguero going on a free, Yaya going on a free, David Silva going on a free, Zabaleta going on a free, Fernandinho, Gundogan, because they all earned it, right? And you look at the age of Gvardiol and you think, another one that can earn it. Now, he can stay here, win as many trophies as he wants, and we get all of a sudden that in 8 years' time, no one will tell us that 77 million was a lot for him. They'll go like, oh, yeah, looking at what you won, it's worth every single penny.
When it comes to the actual summer business, the media won't talk about this. Nobody will talk about this, bar City fans who are invested in this. But, you know, Borges, who hasn't played a game for the first team, Shea Charles, James Trafford, all these kind of players going for between 15 to 20 million with genuinely no more than 2-3 appearances in the first team between them. This all accumulates. This is all massive business and balances out our books and makes our business look even better. But as I said, no one wants to talk about that except us. Everyone wants to talk about it. And they were hoping to get the headline, City break the record again. I know that they had that printed out. It was typed out on Microsoft Word. They're waiting to just hit enter. But they won't talk about that. It's a fantastic business model.
It's a real shame, though, because City shouldn't have to deal with these optics in mind. It didn't used to be this way. It used to be that if you consistently won things, you could spend whatever you wanted. That was it.
But optics are important in the Middle East. Like the different states in the UAE, Saudi, Iran, Iraq, everybody deals with the West in a completely different way. And the optics are really important in Abu Dhabi. They always have been. They've always been viewed as a progressive state. They very early on, they wanted to separate themselves from Dubai when Dubai went through that big bling thing, right? They didn't want to be part of that. When they came to City, let's be honest, like as much as City have spent lots of money on really good footballers, I mean, like, look at Paris Saint-Germain, right? City have not had a single 12-month period as insanely chaotic as every 12 months in Paris since Qatar took over. It shows the hugely different way in which those states in the Middle East can operate in the West. So it's really important when you begin to think about City and just the idea of like Arab investment in football, that you don't make it about Arab investment in football.
Fully.
It really ain't that. It's like saying, Western investment in football or oil. It's like, Britain have got a completely different business model with their oil drilling than the Americans do. And that's business. That's the way it works. So I think for Abu Dhabi from the very beginning, they wanted to they made a bunch of promises and they obviously had the will to stay and say, we're going to do this. So we don't need to stress too much about year on year. We're here, we're there, we're here, we're there, because we've got a long-term vision. The long-term vision will go over there. And even for me, and even for all of us, actually, I think that like we look at transfers as like something every summer, like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you not doing? And we kind of react like that. But their vision is just so much longer than ours. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't argue with the totems of the City team throughout the Abu Dhabi era were incredible footballers that they took risks on, right? Yaya Toure was a fella that when he came in, everybody went like, what? You're signing Barcelona's defensive midfielder for this much money? He can't even get in the Barcelona team. and yet he becomes what he becomes. David Silva, he's not strong enough to play in the Premier League. Kevin De Bruyne, the Chelsea reject. It goes on and on and on and on. Like, City have never really. Jack Grealish is can I swear on this thing?
Yeah, of course you can.
It's like the fucking largest thing that City have done since the owners came in was Jack Grealish for £100 million release clause. That was putting your cock on the table, right? And City haven't done.
All right, calm down. That's a bit too close.
You know what I mean? Like,
You can swear, but pornography is, you know.
you take my point.
This
I'm
is
sorry,
only oh Jesus!
I'll rein it in now, but you take my point. Like, other than Grealish, City have never really done anything where everybody's gone like, oh my God, like that's like Neymar or like Pogba or like anything like that. We've never done that. When we spend like a medium amount of money on a player, historically people go, what a waste of money. And then 4 years later, he's the best player in the league in that position.
Do you know, the thing is, this summer's been so mad with the media and rival fans with this whole, and I'll be honest, with some City fans as well, with like having meltdowns about Manchester City and the amount of shows I have to do where people say, you know, City are getting rid of everyone and they're not replacing them. And I'm like, hold on. Gundogan went pretty much the same day Kovacic came in. Mahrez actually officially got announced last Friday, right? And I'm like, Mahrez went a week ago. Who else has gone? Like, please tell me who else has gone, because this whole City is selling everyone narrative. Who have we sold? Please tell me who we've sold. Because, oh, well, Walker's going to go. I'm like, okay, but in truth, Walker and Mahrez in our best part last season weren't starting for us. So it's just everyone wants to, and I get it. The City fans that do it need to calm down. All the rivals, it's like, I get it. You have to cling on to something.
But can I ask you guys a question, though? Let me ask you all a question. So don't you think a little bit of what's gone on this summer with City fans is because from the very beginning, the stories in the media were City aren't replacing any of these guys, that like City feel comfortable with their squad. It's not that people were flipping out at the idea of selling a player. I think us collectively, the people that I know that feel the same way as me, like, I think we're entitled to go. If Riyad Mahrez goes, Ilkay Gundogan goes, Kyle Walker goes, that's a lot of quality. A ridiculous amount of quality.
It's a ridiculous amount of experience in this side, in this Pep side as well. So from this team.
The ones for me that I've stuck by, and the two that look, Mahrez, if Mahrez goes, I do think we're going to sign a winger, by the way, but I think if Mahrez goes, he goes. There are options there, yeah? I sat and actually went through who we have that could play on the left wing and right wing. There are options. If Walker goes, yeah, we need that insurance, but Walker was a bit part player last season. He came in for the Real Madrid game, but we will miss him. We'll miss his leadership. The one for me that I will stand by is if we got rid of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva in one window. That would be the one that would make me go.
But when people say that, I feel like we massively, in a way, underrate Gundo in the sense that Gundogan and Bernardo are actually really different players.
Oh, 100%, but they're both as experienced and important.
No, but hang on. In the end, Gundogan is much more creative than Bernardo Silva. Maybe people will disagree with me, but it's just much more creative. So the idea that you let Gundo go, Kovacic brings a part of what Gundogan did to the pitch, but he doesn't bring all of it, right? He brings maybe half of what Gundo brought. Bernardo Silva can do the same half that Kovacic can do. So effectively, the other half is where we need, I think, an extra body. I think that
other half,
exactly like
that other half for me was James Maddison. I thought get James Maddison and he can be that creative.
There you go, but that type of player. And I said the other day, I put on Twitter, like, you know, we should sign Eze, because I think that what we need is a player who complements Kovacic. If Kovacic is the lock down the left-hand side guy, right, when the game is, you know, a certain type of game, certain type of winger that you're dealing with, you want to put Kovacic over there. But there'll be loads of games where that's not what you're thinking about. What you're thinking about is how many fellas can I get in the box to score a goal? And I think for that reason, there's definitely an argument.
Yeah, it's hitting the box. It's hitting the box at the right time.
Totally.
But then I would then say that, do you know what? Last season, Foden can do that. But I do agree with you. By the way, Bernardo, you're spot on. Bernardo and Cover are Bernardo and Gundogan are not the same player. But I was more speaking. Both of them are so important to us and so experienced that to get rid of both of them at the same time,
totally
would be a bit. Yeah. That's where I'm like. I've always said with Bernardo Silva,
it would have been chaos, mate.
The only way I'd let Bernardo go is if Barca said, if Bernardo said, look, I don't want to stay. There's no way I'm staying. I really want to go. The one I've always pushed for is turn to Barca and say, listen, the only way this deal is ever working is if you throw De Jong in. And then I'd be like, okay, do you know what? That gives us something to work with. But other than that, let's be real. There is no better midfielder in world football for Manchester City in this system than Bernardo Silva. There isn't. I really don't believe there is.
On the whole kind of who next for City, like we've had our son Gvardiol. We're speaking very much now on like what's next. Players obviously outgoing and stuff like that. We'll get on to all that now. Before I do, big up Lloyd Rignan with the new membership. If anyone wants to join the Xtra Club, the link is in the description. He's been a member for quite a while now. Gold Tom, yes. Thanks again for becoming a new member. L with a $5 super chat says, I'm at up 12:04 a.m. for City kickoffs in Australia. Wouldn't trade it for the world, but seeing Doku on right wing would make it a little easier. Baller. Now, I'm not sure on Doku. Like, I don't think I can. My head full send.
Raw.
He's a bit Adama Traore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be snide about it, right? But he's a bit rapid and he's a bit raw.
Like, have you seen that chart of these take-ons? Yeah, like, the guy's sick. Yeah, he's skillful and everything, rapid. But then
that's not Pep though, is it? Like Pep's
and Pep come out and said they're trying to get away from that as well. Like,
if he comes to Pep with his stats and goes, "Yo, look at all my take-ons," Pep goes, "You're what? I don't care. Like, I need you to keep the ball, brother, not take it on." Do you know what I mean?
No, but I do think like the one thing I'll say is I definitely think that in the next 12 months we're going to sign a winger that is exactly like what we're talking about right now. We're going to sign a fella who goes, I'm not playing backwards. I'm beating my fullback every time. We don't have that in the squad right now, and you need it.
Did anyone watch Bayern today against Liverpool?
I did. I watched the first half.
There was times where, look, so one of my two favorite wingers at City of all time are Peter Beagrie and Leroy Sané, right? But I understand that Leroy Sané and Pep, he's not a Pep signing. But there was points today where I just looked at Leroy Sané and said, go and get him. Mate, man. Him and Haaland. Imagine him and Haaland running at defence, with De Bruyne.
He's mature. He's a better player. He's a more mature player now all day long.
Have we got a general consensus here that we'd have Sané back? Mulv, would you have Sané back?
Yeah, and nothing below him. No, I'm not interested in anybody that's not as good as him. Like, I would rather have it be Bernardo, Palmer, McAtee, Bob than get somebody that's underneath the level of a Leroy Sané.
You know what? I'm gonna say I've really been converted to the idea of Elise. Of all the players sort of doing the rounds, I like Doku, for example, but I wouldn't cry if they went, no, we're going to go with Oscar Bob. But I think that if they get the opportunity to bring Elise in, here's what I think. In the end, he's got unbelievable technique. Unbelievable. Yeah. He's got the level of technique. Well as well. That he could work, like in a Pep team, he'd be amazing. So then, if he's got the technique, it's all about what's between his ears. If he's ready to learn from Pep and the coaches, his ceiling is really super, super, super high. Because nobody I love Bob, I love Palmer, I love McAtee. There's a lot of wingers in world football that I love, but I did a little bit of a deep dive in the last 48 hours into Elise. He's special. His first touch, his technique, those kind of the qualities, like he's got 2 or 3 qualities that are like head and shoulders above all the players in his age range, and that makes him really special.
But I just feel the fan base needs Oscar Bob. I'm not going to lie, Oscar Bob could become a terrorist. Just the name, Oscar
I
Bob
like the
alone.
idea of Elise. I like the idea of Elise.
I like
do
the
as
idea
well.
of Elise on the basis that we don't set the expectation on him when he comes in that he has to be like the next Riyad Mahrez. Like he has
No,
to
but
come
we've
in
got
and do.
the good thing
I think
is
with Elise,
that-
I think with Elise, you're getting him in on the basis that initially when he comes in, you're expecting him to be a facilitator. He's going to get more out of our finishers. He's going to be a creative spark. But I think over time, he'd probably have to add goals to his game as well. Like in the last 2 seasons, Elise has got four goals over the last 2 seasons, which
that's
at
fair.
the moment is not good enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he comes to City, he's going to get more opportunities, of course.
If I were you, I'd go and look at Leroy Sané's record before he signed for City the first time round. I think that's a really good indication of. I think that we look at Leroy as the fella who left and how good we thought he was then. When he signed, he'd had, I don't know, like 60 first team appearances. Like he wasn't. There was obviously a lot of raw talent there, but he wasn't a guy who'd had like a blistering season in the Bundesliga and done 15, 20 goals or anything like that. He wasn't really close to that. And that's another thing that in the last few days has made me begin to reevaluate how I look at the players that City are targeting. That in the end, Leroy came. So Doku, for example, Doku and Leroy have a difference in age of 6 months. Doku was 6 months older than Sané was when he signed for us. The number of first team appearances, Doku has got like 25 or 30 more first team appearances, top flight appearances than Leroy had. And in terms of goals, almost identical. So, we love the idea of the fella who's finished and already world class, but also there is going to be maybe there's not dozens of them, but there's probably 7, 8, 9 players out there in those wide attacking positions who could come in and take a really big step forward over 12 months.
There's definitely something exciting about a raw talent like that. There's definitely something really exciting about a raw talent like Doku, who, he's young. He has these exceptional attributes that you're talking about that if Pep gets his hands on him, can develop further and refine his game. But with Leroy Sané, I think he's massively refined his game since he's left us. When he left us, I had it in my head that Sané was this kind of, grass burning, all attacking, in behind, which is what he was great at. But then I saw him even in just those 2 games against us in the Champions League, and he's dropping into pockets like a number 10 would. He's getting out into the wing and linking up play, and it's almost like that pores of football that we talk about that we play now, which is why
absolutely
I've reevaluated my assessment of Sané, and I believe he can now fit into our team. But could Pep turn a Doku into someone like that as well?
I think so. I mean,
Jason, what are you saying?
Sorry,
I was just thinking that do you not think with all these names getting put out there for City, and City obviously not 100% on what they're looking for with wingers, which is why they're having a good look at so many different players with so many different attributes. You not think patience might be the better option here for City and have a good look at these players over the next 12 months rather than pouncing right now when, to me, a winger, we need one, but we don't need one, if you get where I'm coming from. We've got more than enough in our squad because to invest the money that's been spoken about with wingers, they're speaking 40, 50 million pounds. It's not as much as what City are investing when it comes to starting first team players. And to me, if City are looking long term, a winger that's going to come in and help improve Manchester City, I just feel like being patient and having a good look out there and then identifying a single player from an 8 or 9 players and then making a move for them next summer rather than this summer. It might be a little bit more expensive, but the player that City sign will be the right player rather than it being the wrong player.
That's what we do.
That'd be the smart move.
I think that complements what Asan was saying. It might not be right now, but within the next 2 seasons, we'll have probably a natural footed right winger,
like a proper winger
in that profile.
Big up MJG window cleaning. We remember for 2 months. Says Gvardiol came by train apparently, but he definitely didn't come on the plane that we watched. Edward Porter with a 2 says Gvardiol can cover stones and play similar as well. I guess Gvardiol stay more left hand sided though, won't he? I think he'll kind of play the RK role, but he can come inside a bit, play like next to Diaz. But we'll have to see. Wait and see with Gvardiol, see what he can do in this side. Zinikar with a 10 says having Gvardiol ball playing ability ball played ability caters to Haaland perfectly. Not only that, we know how narrow teams defend against us. If you can ping those balls to the wings, it will stretch them and give Haaland more space. That's something that Pep loves, in it, breaking the lines, passing through the lines, cutting out that extra pass to bring up the speed of play. And something that last season we did see, especially the first half, quite a bit of. It's slowing down and becoming basically all our centre-backs, because no one wants to play them risky passes when like Laporte or John Stones aren't in there. All our centre-backs are just like passing round to each other, then passing to the midfield, then going back, and it's just, oh, you pass to Jack Grealish, and then it'll come back to the centre-back, and then it's just repeats, and it's slow. But then when you have players who are willing to take those risky passes, which some players have got better. Ake's got better at this season, definitely. Akanji has definitely got better at it as well. About players just need to take more risks, and he's someone that will do that because he's already very, very, very good at it.
I think one thing I saw last summer, and I think maybe again this summer, is what Pep seems to be doing now is he's adding tools to his toolbox, new tools, different style of play, because we know that people watch what we do and then they adapt to it, and that's the beauty of Pep, that he's always going, okay, well, we'll change it. And this is like a prime example with goalkeepers. This playing out from the back thing, the difference is, yes, Edison can play out from the back, but Edison can also bypass the midfield. Whereas nowadays, anyone saying if a goalkeeper can pass a ball 10 yards, apparently he's good at playing out from the back. And it's like, no. Playing out from the back is being able to do that, but if need be, being able to ping one over the top to Haaland quickly. And I think Pep's looking at this. I think everything, someone said something a minute ago about being calm. That's where I am. I said it before the window started. I'll say it now. The board and the manager have got it right too many times for me to sit here and try and tell them who they need to sign, because the truth is, we don't know. We've just had a conversation about where Gvardiol is going to play. We don't know. It's Pep, right? What we do know is that somehow he makes it work. Yeah. So I'm kind of sat here thinking, if we didn't sign anyone else, that's for a reason, because Pep said, you know what, there's no one that fits exactly what I need correctly. I'd rather wait till next summer. Remember when we did that with Jorginho, when we didn't get Jorginho, we went with loads of other DMs, and Pep said, nah, none of them fit what I need. We waited this season and got Rodri, right? So I just think we have to be calm and just wait and trust. If the board let us down, then we can start getting on them, but not yet. Come on, man, we just won the treble.
Yeah, you got to trust the process, man, and that's something that's like echoed through this stream, to be honest. And especially the 5 there says other clubs have skill issues with their transfers, ragging us for oil money, but they lack skills and structures to pull off what we do. And that's again feeding into the fact that we're run different. Man. We're run different from all these other clubs. I rate the way that we're run so much that I do trust the board, in the sense it is worrying. It is worrying when you're seeing like Mahrez and Gundo get off. Yeah, don't worry. That and it's even Walker, things like that. Yeah, I'm gonna shit myself going into a season, because I'm like, that's a lot of experience to lose. But I've just got to trust that Pep and the board know what they're doing, like more than what I know what I'm doing from the other side of a computer screen.
Yeah, fully.
Jake with the 11 months says, I'm late, I've bottled it. Mulv's in the chat. Jake wants the Mulv emojis in the chat. I actually did put some in before for Mulv in it. You know what I mean? Shout out, Jake. Mancunian way, yes, says Martin with a 5, says big up panel. Sorry, couldn't make it. W panel, yes, Martin, mate. Hope you're good. Benles MH with a 5 says, throw a cheeky bid for Musiala. He's literally what we need. How much? How much would Musiala cost? Because
they won't sell him.
It's untouchable. It's you're going into untouchable territory.
How much are you going to pay for Foden? How much are you going to pay for Foden?
That's it.
It's not a price.
If you said to City, yeah, what are you going to sell Foden for? You can't put a price on Phil Foden.
No, there isn't.
Can I ask about cheeky bids while we're on the topic? Because I genuinely want to get some opinions. Mysterious bid for Caicedo.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Could we?
So has everyone
be
seen
involved?
this mysterious bid for Caicedo? No. Another Premier League club has put a bid in which is higher than Chelsea's for Caicedo.
And it's not.
I thought it'd be Arsenal.
And that's Luton, bro. It's Luton.
Oh, fair.
It'd be Villa.
Big, innit? Villa?
Yeah.
Is it not Arsenal? But why
Arteta
seems to just got Rice?
But because Arteta literally wants everything to try and he wants everything.
Arsenal can't afford to do that deal.
No, I don't think they can.
After spending 100 million on Rice, then 80 million pound on
No,
Caicedo. That's too much.
That's not happening.
Yeah, but a lot of people in the chat saying it's Saudi. Nah, but the thing that I read said it was a Premier League club.
So apparently, if I understand the way that this has been unfolded in the last 4 or 5 hours, is that there's a Premier League club that have bid more than Chelsea, and Sky are now reporting that a Saudi club have made an inquiry on top of the bid from the Premier League club.
Newcastle could be one. That's a shout.
The report also said it's not Liverpool who were a club reported to be interested in Caicedo, so it has to be someone new entering if it's a Premier League club.
Unless it's just no one, and it's just Brighton saying this to make the price go like this.
Yeah, but look, hang on. So I had this conversation in WhatsApp before. So we've got to be a bit realistic, right? Chelsea are not going to put another bid in because some fella from The Athletic did a story saying that some unnamed club in the Premier League have bid more money. It doesn't pass the sniff test for me. Like,
that is a weird
if
one.
Brighton is saying they've had another bid, it would be one hell of a ballsy move to say that when nobody's bid.
When it does, because if they walk away, then it
doesn't make any sense to me. I think, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm taking City out of the equation because I'm not thinking about it from a City point of view. Just from a general transfer point of view, I don't believe that Brighton will put the story out there that somebody's bid for him when nobody's actually bid. I think somebody has. I think somebody's obviously gone there and gone, well, we're prepared to pay this. And the only question that I then ask myself is, well, how much did we bid for Declan Rice? What was the last bid that we put in for Declan Rice? Yeah. And that bid is significantly higher than the bid that Chelsea have put in for Caicedo. Now, let's just say for one moment that City want a player like that and they've got that sort of budget.
See, for me, I've had this debate with Arsenal fans a lot. I think the fact that City went in for Rice, we would not be going in and paying that much money for a 6.
No, it's not a 6. We've got Rodri. We're not buying a 6.
Exactly.
We're buying a player.
So I saw Rice as, if he came City, it would have been as an 8, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I see Caicedo as,
bro,
especially with Kovacic there, bro. I don't
forget about it.
Hold on, but think what you just said. Hold on, think about what you just said about 5 minutes ago about what Kovacic brings, and what we miss from Gundogan. I don't think Caicedo brings the bit that we miss from Gundogan. He brings a bit more of Kovacic. He doesn't bring the Gundogan element.
I think he goes a long way, and there's also the small element of the fact that he could cover a Kyle Walker if Kyle Walker left at right back. There's a versatility there.
And he played right back before quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think the versatility thing is obviously a big thing for City, and I think you're right in a way that, like, he's not a fella who's known for getting into the box and scoring loads of goals, but I do think that he doesn't get a nosebleed the way that Kovacic does in the final third of the pitch. And that's not a criticism of Kovacic. It's just the idea that my feeling is that Caicedo could adapt better to the idea of playing a little bit further forward with a little bit more freedom. Because the thing is that, and maybe that's sort of the impressive thing, is that when they moved him to right back, he was incredible from right back, and he was popping up all over the right hand attacking third and stepping into midfield. And I almost feel as though that's really close to City's ideal player. A guy who basically can play right back traditionally, but can also play right back, play centre midfield from right back, and play centre midfield. Like, just stick him as an 8 or stick him as a 6, and he can play that as well.
You're selling it to me. You are still.
Versatility point. I mean, look, I've found it dead weird that City weren't in for Caicedo, right?
So did I.
And I found it equally weird that Chelsea haven't closed that deal.
Yeah,
and
same.
I find it a little bit interesting that it feels as though there's a lot of conversation around the idea that City are looking at players that the media are not all over, basically.
Yeah.
That it kind of fits for me. I'm not saying that City's the bid or anything like that. Just more the general idea. I'm prepared to say that I reckon on the 1st of September we will assign one fella that we weren't linked with in the middle of July or at the end of July. There'll be a fella who on the 1st of August, none of us went, he's going to be a City player, but he'll end up being a City player on the 1st of September.
The only thing with this one is that I do think City like doing business that they can go in, get done with minimal press, getting involved and planting it all over. Gvardiol probably is more press than we wanted. The fact that Rice also, I think that's more press than we wanted. And I'll be honest with you. Look, I totally get why Chelsea are playing the long game with Caicedo, because at the moment there's been no one else really involved, so they can afford to. Because every other club played with their hand with who they wanted. If we go in for Caicedo, I have no doubt Chelsea will then go, okay, now we're going to go back to how we were in January. And I just don't know if our board will want that at the moment. Like, there's no need for us. Why would we get involved in that? That's the thing that puts me off it. I just think Chelsea can, if need
look
be.
At it. So look at it a different way, right? Arsenal ended up paying how much for Declan Rice?
105, I think.
Right. So if City get to bring Caicedo in for less money than Arsenal paid for Declan Rice, then effectively they've signed a centre midfield player this summer that everybody wanted for less money than the most expensive centre midfield player.
But I think if we went in, with 90 for Caicedo, I think Chelsea would instantly go back with 100, because I think Chelsea can.
I think there's a fixed
they're just
price.
playing the long game.
I think there's a fixed price. I think there's a price that City, if they really wanted to, so if Brighton are saying we want a similar fee to Declan Rice, City could easily go, well, you know what? We'll give you 85 million and we'll give you another 15 in add-ons, and it gets you to 100. Respectfully, Brighton are not knocking back £100 million.
No, they're not starting waiting on all that.
They're not knocking that back. And if you look at the Chelsea bids, everything it seems to say is a deal worth up to
over
80.
5 or 7 or 12 years.
The maximum they've got to is a deal worth 80 over 5 years or however long it is. If City rock up with a deal worth 100 over 5 years, I think that deal's getting done.
I think we'd all take him, right? We'd all take him. It's a bit left field for me, but
it is a weird one. What are you saying, Jason? You take him?
I'd 100% have him. I think he's a class player. I think going back to what I was mentioning before about players that improve Man City's squad, it's a hard thing to do. But I think Caicedo does that. I think the only problem that we've got with this transfer, to me, and it reminds me a lot of Cucurella in that what happened last summer, which is City could just easily be used here. If you put City's name out there and City are this mysterious bidder, it gets Chelsea to pay more money, doesn't it? It forces Chelsea's hand. It ends up being exactly like what happened with Declan Rice. You put City's name out there. They want to spend X amount of money. They know full well that they've got another club who's willing to spend even more. And Man City do, as we've been saying throughout this stream, we're so good in business because Man City know when to walk away. Chelsea, at this moment in time, I don't think they do know. They'll pay whatever it takes to make that transfer happen. Arsenal are the same. Might stink of desperation to some, but to me, I think City are just too smart to get involved in such a thing with Brighton. So I'd be surprised if it's us getting linked. I'd love him at City, but not sure.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
So what's smarter? Missing out on a player because you don't want to pay, you're prepared to pay 90% of the fee, but you don't want to pay the whole lot, or buying the player when he's 21 years old. I think that's the thing that I understand completely what you're all saying, and in a way, I completely agree with it. But something I learned from the Jack Grealish transfer is that when the will is there, City will pay the dough. In the end, if Guardiola goes, no, I want him.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. I think that's
it all depends on Pep, innit? And what
that's the same with Rice, though.
Then wouldn't go.
Yeah, because I think that's the key. I said before, the night before,
Rice is English, and I think what happened is that the club went, that'd be a good signing, though. That'd be a really good signing, that. And Guardiola's gone, all right, if you can make it happen, I'll take him, which is different to Guardiola going, I want
get me him.
Go and get him.
Yeah, I don't think 100%.
Specifically, go and get him.
I think with Declan Rice, the whole thing was that would he be a good addition? 100%. But I think Pep and the board had a conversation and said, let's go in at this, because I think we went in the same as what Arsenal had offered. But whereas Arsenal had said over 4 years, we said over 2, right? So we said, we'll pay the same, but the structure will be better, right? And I think literally it was a test of water. And I said the night before Arsenal's bid got accepted that Arsenal need to go in and blow City out of the water. Just go in, not with an extra 5 million, go in with an extra 10. They ended up with an extra 15 and say, this is how much we want Declan Rice. And I think the minute they went with that, City go, we don't need him that much. You lot go, and exactly what you said.
Well,
Pep was probably
that's
the
not
difference. What we need. Yeah.
Well, Pep's probably saying, yeah, we would have had him if we got him at a good price. But for us now, that is not a good price.
Yeah.
Do you not think? Do all of you not think that maybe what happened there is City bid going, all right, we're interested. Is he interested in coming to us? And Rice's people have gone, yeah, he is. And City have bid, and they've gone, all right, we bid. The next bid closes it. Is he in? And they've gone, well, we want to see what Arsenal bid. And City have gone, all right, well, then it's cool.
Yeah.
Then we're
at
that point, because the thing with, I think one of the things that, in a way, it's great for us. I think that City have the capacity to close any deal from a financial liquidity point of view at any point that they really like. Not any deal, because obviously like Mbappe and all that sort of stuff is a bit ridiculous. But like something like Declan Rice, if they wanted to, they could have paid that money. And I think that they smell a rat a little bit in the sense that they'd obviously got a little bit of a feeling of he may come. They've made the bid. And then immediately the feeling they get from the agents and the people involved and the intermediaries is, nah, he wants to go Arsenal. This is, it's something that we could end up getting to 115, 120. And in the end, he still goes to Arsenal because they match our bid and he's got no preference for us. And so I just find it really, I found the Declan Rice thing weird in the sense that I just found it really weird that you bid once, you bid that high, and then you walk
and just
away.
Walk away. Yeah.
That to me smells of something else. It's not about what the next bid is. I think it's really then
if
about
he'd
what he wants.
Maybe if he'd have shown clear intent that City is what he wants, then City might have been like, right, okay, we will get you from that club and paid a bit more money. But I think because, like you say, I think he left the door open a bit too much for Arsenal. They kind of went, oh, wait, we want to kind of see what's going on that side. And City just kind of gone, right, well, nah, mate. Nah,
Pep's done that too many times. He's done that so many times. Even with I think he's done it with Van Dijk. He did it with Sanchez. There's players that the minute a player shows a clear intent to go to another team, Pep's just like, no problem.
You need to want to come see.
Yeah.
And you have to be realistic. Like I think that there will be transfers that are competitive. So Haaland last year, it's very clear that he didn't say from the beginning, I only want to come to City. It was really competitive. You have to put your best foot forward, but also you have to have a level of faith with the agents that you're dealing with. You have to have an idea that like, all right, if we get to here, is he in? Right? If we do that deal over there, is he in? And when they go, if you do that deal over there, we're in. It doesn't matter what somebody else bids. Well, then it's cool. Then we'll sign the player. But if they go, well, even if you get there, we want to wait and see what they do. Well, then that's not a deal that City are going to involve themselves in, I think.
Yeah.
Haven't we already said that City are, just quickly, sorry.
Mulv, you're here. Forgot about you.
No, we established earlier that City are keen on the optics of these deals, right? Yeah. When we're talking about Gvardiol. Will we not also be keen on the optics of Arsenal's deals, meaning like getting them to pay more than we paid for Jack Grealish for Declan Rice? I mean, if we're concerned about ours,
it does look better that they paid more.
I've never thought of that.
That's beyond my pay grade.
Yeah,
billionaire fuckery. That is like when rich people go like, let's bid 95 to make them pay 105, so that our most expensive player is no longer the most expensive player. That's high risk poker. That
Huey, make a note of that, Huey. Huey, make a note of that. Use that one.
I rate that though. I rate that. I like that. I like that idea. Off-Met Professor with a 5 said we lost a lot of goals with Mahrez and Gundogan leaving. Something Kovacic doesn't replace. We're missing about 20 goals in all competitions.
Football doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Football doesn't
it's
work
not
like
as
that.
simple. It's not as
It
simple.
just
as
doesn't
that.
work like that. Like
Edison
Haaland
double
came
figures
in.
incoming.
Right, hang on. So Haaland came in and scored ridiculous
50,
amount of goals, right?
Go on,
So,
how many? How many?
I don't know. Fuck knows. 50, 60, 100, a billion goals. Like he scored a lot of
52, wasn't it?
goals. Yeah. Whatever it was a lot of goals. But my point is that he didn't, it's not like because he scored that many goals that suddenly we were that far ahead in the league or anything. It just football doesn't work like that. You shouldn't look. I don't think we should look at like you need to replace X players thing with X. You just need a squad that is built to score the number of goals you need over an entire season to win a league.
Yeah, it's difficult to put it in black and white as like you're going to lose these 20 goals because these two players are gone. Obviously, like you say, we might fix it with other creative ways. I mean, I think Pep will have his reasons. The club will have the reasons for letting these players just go. I mean, I think the rumor was that we weren't happy about Gundogan leaving. Like we could have done better to keep him, but we'll have to wait and see with how we move. Obviously, like we are interested, obviously, in getting a winger in this window. Like if it becomes available. Dash with the 8 month says on right wing, I don't care who comes in, but we need goals and assists. If Haaland has a bad day, we need someone to step up. Preferably, it should be someone with elite experience.
I prefer fellas from Stockport, to be honest. I think we should replace all of whenever Haaland needs like an extra boost, we need a fella from Stockport to fix that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So if you know anyone, then let us know.
I see that as well. I see that.
Mohammed with the 2 says couple injuries and Palmer or McAtee will be starting.
So
what are you saying about Palmer nowadays?
Well, have we got that Lilo back over the? Is he back in yet?
Yeah, Juan Malilo. He's coming
no.
back.
No, is he back
Is he not coming back?
I heard
it's not done yet.
Oh, it's not
They got
done.
paid his contract.
Because I heard he's a big deal with the Cole Palmer side of things. That him and Cole Palmer had a really good relationship, and I have heard in the past that Cole Palmer and maybe Pep's relationship's not as good. And he had a big Lilo really liked Cole Palmer as a winger. So look, I still think Pep believes in Cole Palmer. If you look at the players that we've allowed to go out, whether it be on loan or on sale, the fact that Cole Palmer has continued to stay around this team it tells you that Pep still thinks there's something there. I do as well. He's direct. That's the thing. Like Mahrez, he can be direct. He backs himself. So
I thought we was allowing Cole Palmer now to be like open to offers about him leaving on loan.
No, it's after. What I heard was once Mahrez left, it was until we get a replacement, we're not willing to let Cole Palmer go anywhere.
Is he injured?
I think
why wasn't he playing?
He was injured. He didn't play in the friendlies because he had a little niggle, a little knock. I've heard that they will almost certainly let one of Palmer or McAtee go back out on loan, and then after that, it will depend upon what player or players they bring in. And I think that what if I read between the lines of that message after the tour, I think really what it's saying is they've had a look on the preseason tour and they'd like to buy a couple of players. And if they can, they will do. And whichever position they don't get a player for, they'll keep McAtee, Palmer, one of the two, and they'll step into that breach.
Do you know what? Sorry, just quickly on that. Do you know Caicedo? What you just said there makes me think Caicedo makes a bit more sense because there's the player that I really wanted to succeed this pre-season was McAtee. Right, I really did. I'm invested in McAtee stocks. I don't think McAtee again had the best of pre-seasons. Like I know it's a small sample size, but whereas I look at Bob, I look at, to be fair, Rico Lewis playing in a more advanced position. They impressed me. Whereas McAtee didn't impress me how I want to be impressed by McAtee, which could make him think, do you know what? Oscar Bob can play out wide. So
I was thinking more when he said about Caicedo. I was thinking more of that because I thought like maybe they weren't impressed with Calvin Phillips still in pre-season. Well. Just you know what? Well, we might need to move on someone else here. Someone that we
I just think I think they're going to have to make a decision about Calvin Phillips before they make a decision about. I think a more important decision than McAtee or Palmer or any of those things is: do you believe in Calvin Phillips? Because if you don't, then you've got a problem. Because then You've got Kovacic and Rodri, and you've got fucking 3 fellas max for 2 positions. And you're going to have to go out and buy players. So I think that's a really big call. And I think it makes it harder, the fact that he's obviously invested in staying.
He wants to stay,
I've never quite seen, it's like, it smells a little bit of Harry Maguire at United, where you kind of feel like, mate, the writing is on the wall here. Like,
nah, don't do that, man. I can't. Oh, nah.
That's huge boy, Calvin Phillips, isn't it, as well?
Calvin Phillips seems like, do you know what? I want him to succeed so much. But
lads, I'm going to go make myself a drink. You guys should discuss Calvin Phillips while I make myself a drink.
I hear you. Bro, you just compared him to Maguire. Like, Maguire's the most arrogant cock I've ever seen. Like, Calvin Phillips comes across as someone that you want to succeed. Like, whereas Maguire,
I want him to succeed.
But, like,
hang on, I want him to succeed. But he also did a documentary with Amazon or whoever in his first season at Manchester City Football Club. I'm sorry, but with respect, coming in the position that he came in to agree to do that, I'm not down with that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if that offends people that are watching, but that's not what you do.
Huey,
you're a
defend
professional
that,
footballer. You're not a
I don't think it was a vanity project,
bro.
Sam. In fairness to him, I don't think it was a vanity project at all.
I don't care what it was. Like, I don't care what it was. Like, it's not fundamentally, you've joined Man City. They've invested 40-something million pounds in you. They're paying you a really, really, really high level wage. Bro, if you don't look fit, if the manager goes, he's come back from the World Cup overweight, you can't be doing documentaries. Sorry, can't be doing documentaries. That's not.
I mean, I don't think he could. I don't think he could plan for what would happen in this season. You know, whether he agreed to the
So you should focus on your season and not the TV show that you want to make.
I hear that, but the thing is with Phillips and just general people who are interested in footballers in their lives, Phillips has a really unique life. You know, father in prison,
and he's got next year and the year after and the year after that to do that documentary. It's not, the people are not going anywhere with the documentary. No, I'm sorry, but you're laughing like it's like a really, like it's a joke. It's really not a joke. Like, we're all
we just want it is kind of because we won a treble while he was doing it, so it's kind of we can't.
Man did nothing. Rodri's legs fell off in the middle of the Champions League final. Literally, both his legs fell off in the middle of the Champions League final. There's that bit where he's literally pointing at the players, going, "I can't chase them. My legs have gone." He's going to stand there in the centre of midfield.
You know what, Sam?
I think they don't scare.
I think he's possibly switched his mindset. To be fair to him, this season he's come back earlier than the rest of the squad. He has, man. He's back earlier than the rest of the squad. You know, he's not having Phillips at all, is he?
He's under one for this,
and I'm kind of like,
fair,
I want to back him.
Sounds with LB, bro. He says with LB in it.
He sounds like LB, man.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm with you. I hear it, but I also. It's the Maguire thing for me because, like, Phillips, I feel like Phillips wants to do well at City. He's a nice guy.
Phillips does want to do well. Like,
and Maguire's just a
I'm not saying
shithead.
he doesn't.
Like,
I'm not saying that Phillips doesn't want to do well, right? And also, you're doing Harry Maguire a disservice. Like, Harry Maguire is not like some preening cock. He's a fella who's gone to United and
he's a cock. I'm sorry, I'm hearing him as a cock. He's a cock. Come on, bro.
Carry on.
He's a United player. I'm not going to argue with you.
He's a cock.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you. You call a United player a cock, keep going. I'm in.
Yeah, he's a cock. He's a cock.
Right. Before we start bashing Maguire off, Phillips, let me carry on these stupid jazz. Pause. Italian Time with a 5 says rumors of an unknown team placing a bid for Caicedo, like we said before. Do we think it could be City? Will Pep play Foden and Bernardo right wing and try to get Caicedo? I seen that being an option, right? Rather than getting a winger, move Foden and Bernardo as full-time wingers and then get another midfielder in. I think it makes sense. I mean, getting Caicedo in, move them out wide.
I think the option that City have got is you either go on a right winger and you go, right, Bernardo moves into the middle and that fella's going to play right wing and then we've got options in the middle. Or you buy a centre midfield player and you move Bernardo or Foden out to the right and you go, right, that fella goes and plays on the right and we've got a centre midfield option, but we need one.
Yeah, I agree. Bevo with a 5 says, Cheeky came by plane, Gvardiol came by train, Pep will come in his car, literally planes, trains, and automobiles. Yes, Bevo, mate. Ben Les with a 5 says, Caicedo can play fullback, double pivot, and 6. In brackets, not his best role, and 8. And 8, yeah. He's more proficient in attack than Kovacic too. So that's another backer for Caicedo. Sinathan with a 7 months says, why would we go for Caicedo if we let Lavia go before?
Because
Caicedo going back in for Lavia either.
Yeah, but I feel as though the thing that makes Caicedo, the thing that makes me feel like I'm talking a lot in the stream, lads. I've literally come from dinner. Somebody should tell me to shut up when it's time for me to shut up. But
when you compare Calvin Phillips to Maguire, I will, and then we can move on.
It's usually Daps anyway.
It's usually me. So no, it is.
A change of voice.
100%. I'm sat here thinking this is great. I can.
No, but listen. The thing is, like Caicedo is super versatile, and he's done it in the Premier League in a top team in a system that is close to what Pep plays, and he's played loads of different positions. So the difference is that Lavia played 6 in a team that got relegated and played a lot of weird football, whereas Caicedo has played right back, number 6, double pivot, and number 8, and probably 10 as well in a team that plays the way that Pep likes to play with a coach that he obviously rates. So that would be the difference for me.
You got his price up to about 100 million in this one stream, Asan. Like amongst yourselves, and what I'm seeing in the chat about this guy's qualities, all I'm hearing is Rico Lewis. It's the same guy.
He is. You know what? To be fair, I think that the nearest footballer in the Premier League to Caicedo would be Rico Lewis. But what I would say is that if you could clone Rico Lewis and have 2 Ricos in your squad, you'd do it all day long, mate. You'd have it all day long.
100 million.
Without paying 100 million.
No, but you... Oh, who left?
Yeah, I think we spoke too much.
Jason muted himself and then left then. Sorry, I'm dying it. Yeah. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yep.
Yeah. Bro, I thought my headset went there.
The red light's on though, bro. I think the batteries might be going.
No. There's a mute button somewhere. I need to actually just unmute. Let me just quickly get through these super chats. Constantine with a £1, yes, with his First Nation, yes. Jason with a £2, yes. Lou back with a 9 month says, in American sports, we usually trade players. Is it just the nature of contracts and transfer fees that doesn't happen more in football? Like, it just doesn't work that way with the trades, like anything, innit? Mark D, yes, with a new membership. Big up. Thanks for joining the Xtra Club. Dynamo Drillers Craig with a 5 says, we don't need to score as many goals now with the Great Wall of Manchester now built. I mean, if we can stop conceding, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on.
I think we'll all be happy with that.
I think he's right with that. Someone said to me that City might look less threatening this season. And I said, do you know what? I'll be honest. If I compare City last season to the Centurions were more threatening. Which one ended up with the treble last season? And that's because I think Pep's realised if you've got Haaland up top and then you've got a defence that can shut up shop, you can win 1-0. I know it sounds mad to us, but we can, when need be, win 1-0. And if you look at the games where, like, the back end of the season, Arsenal ended up, I think, drawing 2-2 to West Ham. Drawing 2 to Liverpool.
They did 3-3 with Southampton as well. 3-2.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas turning potential draws into wins just with 1 goal, that's what we can do now. So I think, we're evolving. So the defense for us is mad. It's mad.
I think Haaland will get better. Grealish will get better. Foden will get better. There's plenty more in the attack.
Philip.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
You're lucky Asan's not here, man.
Oh, here he comes.
He can hear you.
Everyone be careful. No. Anyway, we weren't talking about Phillips, I promise you.
Wait, who gave Phillips a vote of confidence then, Morv? Was that you?
No.
Me.
I'm happy to say that he's not shown anything whatsoever so far, but at the same time, happy to say I back him. to show his pre-City form. If we can get pre-City Phillips, happy with that. That'd be great.
I fully agree. I don't think he showed anything either, but to give you context, I just back him because he signed my shirt.
Yeah. To be fair, he's been backing the Donny ever since he signed his shirt.
I need him to do well, or else it's just a ruined shirt, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a ruined shirt, isn't it? He wants to frame that shirt, but he can't.
When he was being linked with Liverpool, Huey was fuming.
Shit, man.
Jason Peachy with a 2 says Palmer to Brighton in a deal for Caicedo.
I love it.
Yeah, I like that as well.
See it.
I love that.
I could see it.
They do want Cole Palmer, didn't they?
Yeah, there are rumours of him going to Brighton. Be a good team for him to go to as well.
Oh.
Matthew Hoyle with a 9 month says, what about Alex Scott from Bristol City? I've only ever seen this guy on FIFA, on LB's FIFA career mode as well, so I can't even...
Yeah, I'm out on that one. I'll tap out. I haven't got that.
Yeah, my knowledge ain't that far.
I'm not built for that, sorry.
Don't be that guy with a 2 says, possible breakthrough season for Sergio Gomez.
Bo, you know he's top,
right wing Sergio Gomez or nah?
Bo. He top goal scorer in the under 21s and that, wasn't he? So you've got to ride with that.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't.
Listen, as long as they don't play him at left back, then if they want to try him at left
do whatever you want. Just don't play him at left back.
Don't play him at left back, please. Yeah. Never again.
Mass number 2 says Tolmy's tweet. Has Tolmy tweeted something? And Austin King with a 29 month says Caicedo or Kimmich. Better choice.
Caicedo because at age, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot younger.
How old is Kimmich? Like 28, 29, something like that.
Is it 28? I think.
Yeah. I like Kimmich. I think it's sick.
I would call Kimmich.
Kimmich or De Jong? Not Nigel, by the way.
What?
Kimmich or Frankie?
De Jong?
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch him with yours, mate.
I would. Frankie's so set in Barca now as well, isn't he?
That's the thing, like Frankie is so comfortable on 480, 560, 700 grand a week. Like, there's no way that at 27, 28 years old that I'm going and I'm doing.
Oh, is that how old he is?
Yeah, man. He's not a baby anymore.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I thought he was younger.
No.
I thought he was younger. But...
right. It's
Are we done?
I mean, near enough.
Unless you want to talk on Phillips a bit more, we can talk on Phillips. What do you think of Phillips as a false nine?
Right, Dab, shut up, innit? Shut up, Dab. No.
I reckon that the way to deal with the Calvin Phillips problem is to play him further up the pitch. Shocking as that might sound, right? But the fella is not a number 6 in the City system. And I think that if you want to use him and he's going to stay for a season, then you got to use him more central, more box to box and play him that way. Because I think in the 6 by himself, every time he's done it, he looks like he's dying. Looks like
about what Stones is doing? Could he do that?
No, because I don't think that he's got anywhere near the balance or his problem, in my opinion, is actually not football. It's the fact that the vision, he's not got that. He
always seems out of position to me.
Totally. He's got no clue about where he needs to be.
Yeah, like he looks like a little bit lost at this moment. Like he's not. And then did you see all the thing about he's the slowest to get this pep system at this moment in time? That's what it feels like. It feels like he doesn't know where.
The fact that Kovacic, after like 2 weeks in training, ends up playing in the 6 before Calvin Phillips in a friendly.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, right? And I know this is, I mean, take it with a pinch of salt because it's just a Tolmy tweet, and it's just a Tolmy tweet. But this is what Tolmy tweeted 10 minutes ago. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside.
Shall I text him and see what he's saying?
And tell me that doesn't stink of a bit of Caicedo there.
Maybe.
I mean, I do like to be beside the seaside. The seaside.
Cole Palmer.
Seagulls and that.
So who tweeted that?
Told me.
Let's see if he replies.
That could be a thing. That could be a thing. You know what I mean? Maybe told me.
No, but look, like it's not if we're being really honest, if somebody in the Premier League other than Chelsea have bid for Caicedo, it's City.
Palmer
That's
to
what I think.
Blackpool. That's genius.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Jack Gorn personally negotiated that transfer.
Blackpool soon come.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, lad. Jack did his team a solid and negotiated a transfer for Cole Palmer.
OT 776 says Gomez winger season. And Mohammed with a 2 says, would y'all take Julio Enciso from Brighton? I think he looks good.
Oh,
Didn't he
hell yeah.
He looks
All
good,
day long.
Enciso. Did he get goal of the year against us?
Well, he looks cold, but I don't think they'll let him go. He ain't been there long enough, but he looks
he's
cold.
not- he's
I'd
not
take
been-
him all
he's not
day
been
long.
there longer. I think him, Matoma and that, I think they'll stay for a bit longer. I think.
Yeah, I think they've both got another season in them there.
Yeah, we'll have to.
He does look like
see where that goes.
I don't know. I feel like if Pep goes in 2 years, there is a chance De Zerbi might be on our list already. And
Yeah, I agree.
I would love him to come and bring. What's his name? So is it? You just said his name, but I'm crap with names.
Enciso.
Yeah.
I think he
De
could
Zerbi come with him in 2 seasons' time if Pep goes. I'd take that all day long.
Yeah, maybe a bit of Matoma if he's slamming it still.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty much it. We've been through a lot of transfer talk as well, man. That's a lot of names. I go through one by one in it, right? Give me who you think City will sign before the end of this window closes now. Like, all of you go first.
Are we saying Gvardiol's done, by the way?
Yeah, we're saying
Yeah,
Gvardiol's
Gvardiol's
done. And do you think we'll get anyone else before the window closes?
No.
You think that's it? We're sticking. That's it.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll stay.
Damn. Are you saying that? Stick our twist for City? Do you think there's one more in us?
Yeah, I think there's
And I'm
one more
okay with
before-
that, by the way.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Are we saying before the season starts or window shuts?
Oh, window shots. Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah. 100% we'll sign one more player. I think we'll sign a winger before then. If I have to say one, I will say Elise.
Yeah, I rate it. What are you saying here?
I'm kind of being persuaded into Caicedo.
Same. This
I
whole
won.
stream has got me hooked on Caicedo.
105 million?
Now 104 because of the
The opposite.
I am the Caicedo dealer. I've basically been dealing out low doses of Caicedo all night.
That's
to
dodgy
everybody.
as hell. I'm not going to lie.
It's worked. And what are you
I'm
saying?
invested.
What are you saying here? Are you saying that Caicedo?
We're getting Caicedo. Yeah.
No winger. We're getting Caicedo. Right?
I don't fucking know.
Hey, Sam, what are you saying?
Phillips on the wing.
I'm saying we're going to sign Elise and we're going to sign a centre midfield player. I think we're going to do both positions.
Oh, Elise and Caicedo.
Yeah,
And
that's me.
If Kyle
I'm with
Walker
Ace
gets sold to Bayern, we'll do a right back as well. So I think we're
Caicedo
going to
does that
do
too.
No, I think we're going to do 2 players, right? And if Walker goes, we'll do 3.
We'll do one. What a window. Now, that'd be crazy into the window, innit? In 1 month, it all changing up like that.
Flight trackers for all of them.
Yeah, yeah. This is your one and only flight tracker channel that you need to be watching. Jake the Vince with the 2 says Paxton. What? Paxton Pomical in
FC Dallas player. Ignore him.
Oh, is it? I knew that you'd know more, but I seen it was Jake. I was like, more will know it's on. And Akash for 6 months says, yes, Gvardiol signed, City Extra subscription renewed, phone-in show back, season to start, life is as good as it can get. Yes, Akash, massively appreciate it, bro. Right, Mulv, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on Noisy Neighbors podcast. Me and my mate Joey. We're based in Texas. We just did our season preview, going through basically the top 6 or what we expect to be that and what their expectations should be. So that's on all your podcast apps under the American spelling with the U, without the U. The Noisy Neighbors podcast. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, Cos,
So professional.
always. That was very professional, that wasn't it? Daps, where are people finding you, bro?
Yeah, never a foul. Every day, about 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon, then 10 p.m. at night with our debate shows where we usually get a load of us because it's a generic channel. I represent City. We've got other people from other clubs on, and it's generally just a place where Arsenal fans get way too sensitive. So it's good fun.
Isn't that everywhere?
Well, they're mad sensitive. And yesterday, for once, Chelsea fans started getting sensitive and started DMing me just because I said, you know, your stadium against Fulham looked kind of empty. I'm not lying. That was it. That was it. You're saying City were a bigger club. I'm like, no, I'm just saying your stadium was empty. That's all I said. And I've had DMs all day with pictures of like sensitive bunch, isn't they? And we're still, by the way, just to confirm, we're still irrelevant apparently. So
yeah, always will be. Yeah. Asan, what are you saying? Where people can find you?
You can find me in Ibiza.
I was going to say that house looks kind of Spanish.
Yeah, no,
no, but 9320 pod at 9320 pod, 9320 podcast. Come find us.
Go find a goal this 9320 pod. It's sick. And Hugh, people know where to find you, bro, because you're right here.
City Extra Don.
Yeah, the CX Don. It's funny actually because I wrote that ages ago on.
Was that you?
Yeah,
I didn't know
I wrote that
was.
ages ago. When
you can recaption that.
You can change your name.
Yeah, hey, Bo,
if he runs his numbers cash
out to Ibiza.
Yeah, I'm gonna change mine to Caicedo. Please join. Yeah. Also, Hugh does have his own channel, HMTV, and this stream is automatically going to redirect straight over to Hugh's live stream. So,
go on, Hugh.
All of you stay exactly where you are. Make sure that you join the redirect when it pops up in the chat and go to Hugh's channel and go and watch that. Big up for everyone that's been on the show. Big up to JSGC. He was here before. Go check out his channel. He has his own YouTube channel and that. Go on here.
And a big congratulations to Jordy Porty on his first Avengers show, people.
Oh yeah, and Asan. With debuts. With debuts in this. It's our debuts of the Avengers show. I'm gonna have to re-up that Avengers intro.
This was like an audio only show. I really had no expectation of ending up on a video stream tonight. This is not what I signed up for, but it was a buzz. Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, massively appreciate it. Yeah, buzzing. Right. Big up everyone, and we will see you in the next Avengers show. See you in a bit.
Cool. Bye.